Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you guys are having a great Saturday. So we're going to take a look at a couple of things. One, see where Bitcoin's at right now, Ethereum as well, and then we're going to take a look at a lot of data that we do have on the miners to come up with which one is the most undervalued and possibly why. Okay, so we're going to take a look at all of that information, but as always, you guys know the drill here. This is not financial advice, for entertainment only. Do your own research, and I'm investing in coins and companies for full disclosure, so you guys are aware of that. Also, if you enjoyed this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. So let's take a look at Bitcoin here first, and then we'll get into the charts or the data that we do have. Okay, Bitcoin right now is still doing pretty good, considering that it's down just a little bit here, down 0.38% to 27,350. It is still trading kind of sideways a little bit here. It did wick down a little bit during the day-to-day, but it's not bad. If we look at the 4-hour chart, now we can see that we came down here in the last, well, this last hour, the last 4 hours, we kind of came down a little bit. We hit a low of 26,652, which is still nicely above the 200 weekly moving average, which is our red line right here. So that's good as well. If we look at the RSI, RSI has been kind of coming down here a little bit. You can see that, but price has been kind of flat for the most part. If you look at it, it's been trading sideways. We can look at it better on the 1-hour chart. We can see here that the price of Bitcoin has come down a little bit, but it's kind of going sideways. So it is flat in my opinion. However, if you look at the same period on the RSI, RSI has come down nicely here. This gives me confidence that we can possibly enter into another bull leg here a little bit. Not much. We'll see how far the RSI goes down. And depending if it gets down pretty low, I think we might have another shot at going up a little bit higher here. But we'll see how this is going to play out. We still have tomorrow to see how that plays out. And then obviously once we get into Monday, we'll have the markets open. CME futures will be open as well. So we'll see how big of a gap we have during that weekend time frame compared to the CME close on Friday. Okay, so that's Bitcoin right there. And then we got Ethereum. Ethereum is up a little bit, 0.08% right now. On the day, it is at 1,794. You can see it had a pretty nice wick here today. It was up to a high of 1,846 and a low of 1,752. It is currently at 1,794. So it's up a little bit from where the bottom was, but it is kind of trading pretty nicely here on the 4-hour chart. You can see that the RSI has come down a little bit. Price has also come down a little bit from its high here, but not too bad. And then on the 1-hour chart, we can see here that the price has been flat and then bottomed out a little bit, and then it's trading sideways a little bit right now. So that's okay. I think we're still in good shape there. Okay. So that's it. The miners obviously had a pretty good week here last week. We'll do that video tomorrow. Right now, let's get into the miners. And I only picked a handful, well, 2 handfuls of the miners that I wanted to go over with you guys. And I wanted to keep the miners basically the medium-sized miners and the large-sized miners to kind of compare them all instead of going through all of them, even the small ones that are like at under 100 or under 1 exahash. So we're going to get into that right now, okay? Here is the data that we do have. So the miners that we're looking at is Riot, Marathon, Cypher, Hut8, Hive, Bitfarms, CleanSpark, Iris, and TeraWolf. And we're using all the data that we do have available to us, which I obviously have a lot of data, and the spreadsheet is always available to my Patreon members, so you guys can get it there. When this video is done, I'll upload the spreadsheets to my patrons there. Okay, what we're looking at here is we're taking the number of shares outstanding, the market cap, current stock price. We're looking at the last 3 quarters and including this current quarter that we're in, which is an estimate for the most part on all of these guys. We're kind of getting some numbers here out of that based on all that information, okay? So right now, Riot is in the top spot with market cap wise. It's at 1.3 billion. Marathon is at 954 million. Cypher is at 576 million. Hut is at 413. Hive is at 256. Bitfarms is at 208. CleanSpark is at 191. And Iris is at 163. And finally, TeraWolf at the bottom here is at 106 right now. So based on that information, then we take a look at the current quarter plus the 3 previous quarters that we do have numbers for. So this is kind of backward looking. This is how my data has always been pretty much this way. Riot is right now at about 148 million. So they are pretty high up there. They're, I think, the number 1 spot. Let's do this by the revenue here so far for the past 3 quarters in this quarter. And we got Riot at number 1, 148 million so far. Bitfarms is at 130 million. CleanSpark 126. Marathon 116. Hive is at 104. Hut8 is at 73, Iris is at 57, Cypher is at 28 million, TeraWolf is at 23 million. Okay, so you can see how they stack up as far as revenue is concerned. Now, when we take a look at my estimates for the miners where I think they should be, so we're using 50% net income from gross revenue, And then we're using like the PE of 20 here for most of these guys, except for Hive and HOT8, which are at 15, because their growth is a little bit limited right now. Yes, HOT8 is going to be purchasing US BTC, which will kind of double their operations a little bit here. So that's going to be good news there. Hive is still looking to grow a little bit, but they don't have a lot of growth currently on the books. So that's why they're at 15 right now. And then everybody else here is growing pretty well. So I got them at 20, just as a conservative number potentially for that. Based on all that information, we have Riot, or at least I have them at between $8.87 and $13.30. Bitfarms between $5.49 and $8.24. CleanSpark between $16.24 and $24.36. Marathon at $9.97 and $14.96. Hive at $9.35 and $14.03. HOT8 at $2.52 and $3.78. Iris at $10.54 and $15.82. Cypher at $1.15 and $1.72. And TeraWolf between $1.35 and $2.03. Now, when we look at where they are currently, as far as their stock price is concerned, we can see that Riot is still under where I think they should be. So I do think that they are a little bit undervalued right now. Not much, but still a little bit. If we look at the 50% one, now at 75%, they are way undervalued at $5.20, but that also depends on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin actually goes up pretty nicely here, their efficiency should improve, their margins should improve as well, so they might get close to that 75% range that we're looking at. So somewhere between there is kind of where I'm thinking they should be. Bitfarms is still way undervalued in my opinion. It's $4.61 from where it should be, where I believe it should be. And $7.36. CleanSpark, way undervalued here, $13.79 to $21.91 away from where I think it should be. Marathon, $1.80 to $6.79. Hive, $6.30 to $10.98. HOT8, 64 cents to $1.90. So they're pretty close to where I think they should be also. Hive still I think is way undervalued right now, along with Marathon slightly undervalued, but definitely CleanSpark way undervalued. Next is Iris. Iris also $7.56 from where I think it should be. $12.84 at the top end. Cypher. Now Cypher here is interesting because they, based on my numbers here, they are currently a little bit, well, I would say a little bit overvalued right now. Their growth has been nice here, but if we're looking at their past production, and this might be where investors are looking at their future production and future revenue, which that might be the case, but we'll look at that numbers also. I did some forward-looking numbers as well. We'll look at all that. But they are a little bit, based on my numbers, a little overvalued right now. TeraWolf is down 74 cents and $1.42 from where I think they should be. So they are undervalued as well. Okay, next is current hash rate and then future hash rate. So we go through all these guys here. Riot still has a little bit of growth left, about roughly 3 exahash worth of growth left. They're at 9.8 exahash. They're going to be about 12.5. Plus, we don't know where they're going to end up with their immersion cooling systems, how that's going to improve efficiencies and things like that for them. That might bump them up another 500 petahash to a 1 exahash. We'll have to see when that data comes out. Bitfarms is at 4.7. They're supposed to get to 7.5. Quite a bit of growth there left. CleanSpark is at 6.6. They're supposed to get to 9.5. That has been reported. Now, their guidance is that they want to get to 16 exahash at the end of this year. So far, they're getting pretty close to that. We'll see when they report, if they report on anything getting to that range there. But right now, they're at 9.5. Marathon is at 9.5 right now. They're going to be at 23. They're saying this sometime early this year, this first half. So that should be pretty soon here. We'll see how they do on that. And they don't have anything else past that. Hive is at 2.5 right now. They're supposed to get to about 3.5. HOT8 is also at 2.5 right now. They're supposed to get to about 3.3 possibly. Now, with the merger with USBTC, that should help them get higher up there, maybe around 5-6 exahash possibly with everything. Then Iris is at 1.7 right now. They're supposed to get to about 4.5 based on the numbers that we do have for them. Cypher, which has been doing really well here lately, is at 4.2 currently. They're supposed to get to 6. So they're almost pretty close to being fully installed. And then we got TeraWolf. TeraWolf is at 2.6. They're supposed to get to 5.3. Okay. So those are all the numbers that we have there. Now that we take everything that we have so far into account, and then we take the market cap divided by the current petahash or the exahash, whatever you want to do it. I'm doing it by petahash. We can see here that which companies are getting a lot better value per petahash than others. And this, I like to look at this as well. This is a good metric to see which ones are being, being given a higher value than others. That's the best way I can say it, I guess. So HOT8 came in at number 1 here at 165,000 per petahash. That is a lot, obviously, given that they are only going to be growing currently about another 700 petahash. Plus, they're buying USBTC, that's fine. But they do have a large HODL position, which we'll look into here in a minute. Riot is $138. I think that's more in line with where things should be. Cypher, also $135,000 per petahash right now. I think that's just, for them, it's a little overrated, too high. Then we also have Marathon at 100. So right there, you can see the top four as far as getting, not getting revenue, but getting more share dollar value per petahash is what I'm trying to say. Hive is at 99,000. Iris is at 92,000. Bitfarms at 44,000. Then we have a big jump here between those two. TeraWolf is at 41,000 as well. CleanSpark at 28,000, almost 29,000 here. So based on all of this information, I would have to say CleanSpark right now is truly the one that's the most undervalued company out of these 9 here that we do have. Okay, and that is based on the simple fact, looking at the market cap divided by their current petahash, what they do have, and that's kind of what we're getting at. It's just not fairly valued compared to other ones. But then you say, okay, well, other companies have HODL position, and the HODL position helps them as well. So let's take a look at the market cap divided by the petahash minus their HODL position, and this is what we end up with here. So this is kind of interesting as well. So we'll sort this ascending, and now we can see here that Cypher comes in at number 1 spot with 133,000 per petahash once you take out their HODL position. Riot is in number 2 spot with 121,000 per petahash. Iris is at number 3 spot with 92. And then we got Hot 8 with 80,000. So that's a big difference there between their market cap divided by petahash number and looking at their, if you take out the HODL position. So their HODL position is adding tremendous value to them. Looks like about 80,000 per petahash roughly, or 80,000, however you want to look at it, to that number for them, which is definitely inflating it here quite nicely. Otherwise, I think if you're just looking at petahash, this is kind of where they should be, not looking into their HODL as well. So HODL is definitely having an impact on Hut 8 there. Hive is at 78, so it's down a little bit from the 99, but they do have a pretty sizable HODL as well, 53 million. Marathon is at 72,000. They also have a really large HODL position here, bigger than Hut 8, but you can see how that has an impact on it. Bitfarms is at 42,000. TeraWolf is at 41,000, and CleanSpark, again, at the very end here, they do have a smaller HODL position of only 100 BTC last reported, and this is only 28,000 for them. So looking at all these numbers, I then took it to where we have the average for all of these, and then the high. So the average came in at 74,000 in general for all of these numbers here, with market caps divided by petahash, and then you have the market caps per petahash minus HODL position. So those two are pretty close to each other, 74, 63. And then we got the actual max numbers, the highest number possible here, which is 165, which was from Hut 8 on this one, and 133,000 on this one, which was from Cypher. Okay, now when we look into more data here, just kind of extrapolate the data out a little bit. If everything was equal, and then we took everybody, the average market cap per petahash price times their current hash rate, this is kind of where they would stack up at. And let's do this descending also. So then let's see here, descending. We can see that Riot came in at number 1 at 729 million, right? Yeah. They should be around 729 million instead of the 1.3 billion that they are. So these are the market caps here where they should be based on the average. If we look at the average new share price, well, it looks like right now Riot would be overvalued by $3.73. Marathon would be overvalued by $2.11. CleanSpark would be undervalued by $3.85. Bitfarms would be undervalued by 60 cents. Cypher by $1.05. TeraWolf by 49 cents. On the upside, let's see here. Hive would be actually overvalued. This should be down 76 cents. Hut 8 would be down $1.03 to 85 cents. And then Iris would be down 57 to $2.41 if everything was equal, which it's not. We know it's not. Then if we take the look at the max market cap divided by petahash times the hash rate. So we're looking at the max here, which is going to be this 165,000 per share, basically, per petahash, which is on Hut 8. When we use those numbers, we can see here that now, let's see who comes in at number 1 here. Number 1 is still Riot, followed by Marathon, followed by CleanSpark, Bitfarms, but we have a different price structure here now. So now we see that Riot would be undervalued by $1.59. This should be up higher. Marathon should be up $5.27 to $13.44. CleanSpark should be up $11.52 to $13.97. Bitfarms up $2.40 to $3.28. Cypher should be up 50 cents to $2.82. TeraWulf would be up $1.84 to $2.45. Hive would be up $2.03 to $5.08. And then HOT8 would be basically where they're at because they are at right now the most. And then yet Iris would be up $2.36 as well. But let's take a look at it if we also use the minus the HODL position. So if we did that, let's see how that's going to play out here. Do this descending as well. And that stays the same here. So Riot would actually have to come down in price a little bit, 27 cents to $7.83. Marathon would have to go up $2.69. CleanSpark would have to go up $8.84. Bitfarms $1.77. Cypher would have to come down 4 cents. TeraWulf $1.37 up. Hive would have to go up $1.05. HOT8 would have to come down 36 cents. And Iris at $1.34. Okay, so that's a lot of data there, a lot of numbers, and a lot of metrics that we can take a look at to see where things would be if things were equal. Like I said, we know things are not going to be equal with all of these guys. So why then is CleanSpark so undervalued based on all of these metrics that we have here? A couple of things that come to mind here for me at least is, number one, I think there's a lot of fear with their dilution, possibly the 500 million ATM that they have going for them, and also the share-based compensation as well, which I think is kind of freaking some investors out. We're not seeing that so far in, let me see here if I can pull this up really quick here. So we're not really seeing it in the actual institution side of things. So let's take a look at that really quick here before we continue on here. So looking at the institution side of things, we can see here, let's see, take a look at CleanSpark. Where's CleanSpark? There it is. CleanSpark, we looked at the short interest yesterday, institutions. So institutions did decrease a little bit here over the last month, about 3.65 thousand shares. They still have 32.68% of the company owned by institutions, which is a large number. But when we look at HOT8 here, we can see that HOT8 has lost 1.69 million shares in the last month, and it's only owned 9.44%. So that has been coming down as well. So my thinking on this is it's more on the retail side of things that are pumping the stocks up, like HOT8, some of the other ones like Cypher. Let me see if I got Cypher in here as well. I think maybe I don't have it, but let's take a look at Cypher really quick as well. Let's see here. CIFR. Cypher. If we look at Cypher, Cypher has actually been coming down as well. You can see here in the last month, institutions have sold out 14.13 million shares, which is strange considering that the stock has been going up. And then you got percentage owned has come down quite a bit here to 5.15%. It was over 10% a while ago. My thinking is on this, like I said, retail investors are the ones that are actually pumping these stocks up. And I think they might be, well, for whatever reason that they're doing it, it doesn't really matter on that part, but it is happening. And that's why the stocks are actually pumping right now on those end. But I think retail investors might be a little bit short-sighted as far as what's going on, completely and thoroughly looking into this all the way in, okay? So here's what I mean by that. So we kind of went through all the data here, so I'm not going to look through this. We showed all these metrics here, how far they are above. We'll just kind of take a look at it here as far as stock price is. Stock price for Riot right now is $8.10. I have it between $8.87 and $13.30. If we use the HODL position, minus the HODL position and the average, they are under that, so they would be undervalued right now. Marathon, same thing, they would be undervalued from where I think they should be. CleanSpark, definitely way undervalued from $2.45 to where I think they should be even at the average. Now we got, next one is Bitfarms, same thing for Bitfarms, way undervalued. Cypher, a little overvalued looks like right now. TeraWulf, undervalued. Hive, definitely undervalued right now. HOT8, pretty close to where they should be, maybe a little bit overvalued a little bit. Iris, definitely undervalued, and that's it for those. So if we take other calculations, and since we're backwards looking on this one, we're looking at the previous 3 quarters plus the current quarter that we're in. This is where the numbers are coming from. If we look forward looking, take the numbers that we have for the current quarter, which are estimates, I have to note that, and then multiply that by the 4 times. So if things just stay the same at the very least, if nothing else has changed, they stay the same as far as production is concerned, revenue is concerned, where would they or where should they be based on that information? We do know that a lot of these guys are going to be growing though. So let's take a look at that. So here's what we got. We got Marathon currently is at, take the current quarter results, the earnings, potential earnings, and multiply it by 4. We get them to 201 million in revenue for, say, the next full year. Riot would be 197 million, CleanSpark would be 167 million, Bitfarms 116, Cypher 93 million, Hive at 66 million, Hut8 at 51 million, TerraWolf at 46, Iris at 43. Right? So now you're seeing how much they're, you can take the numbers and divide by 4 and you get how much they're making currently in this current quarter. Based on the information that we do have here, we can see that Marathon is definitely going to be undervalued based on that information. It's down, it's under $9.11 away from where I think it should be. At 17.28 to 25.93. Riot should be about 11.85 to 17.70. CleanSpark at 21.48 to 32.21. Bitfarms at 4.91 to 7.37. Cypher at 3.77 to 5.66. Hive at 5.97 to 8.95. Hut8 at $1.76 to 2.63. TerraWolf 2.65 to 3.98. And then Iris 7.90 to 11.85. Looking at the chart here, we can see that this one's in the green. Hut8 is the only one that, if we take the current quarter they're in, which we know they're having problems with their facilities, miners are not energized, things like that. But if we take that, we know they're going to grow a little bit. But right now, it's just looking like they are a little bit overvalued based on that information if we're looking forward going the next 12 months. Okay? So that's definitely a huge upside potential here, not only for Marathon, Riot, CleanSpark, Bitfarms, Cypher as well. But the one that's definitely the most down is, again, CleanSpark here showing the most potential to happen that way. Okay, but then you guys are saying, well, what about all that, the dilution, share-based compensation, you're not taking that into account. So I did another really quick here math just to lay it all out here. So let's just say CleanSpark does dilute. They're supposed to grow their exahash to 16 exahash. They purchased already to get to 9.5 roughly. They're still going to have to grow about 6.5 exahash or something like that from where they are right now. If they dilute, even if they, let's say that they dilute 100 million shares currently, right? At the current price the stock is at, that should be 245. I don't know why that came down. It should be 245, 245, 245. Okay. And that should be in dollars. I should just do this. Oh, why didn't that work? Figures. Sorry, guys. Let me see if I can correct this. No, that's not going to work. Okay. We'll do it the old-fashioned way. We'll do the format. Automatic should be currency. 2. Okay. Then we're good. Sorry. Okay. So $2.45 right now. Everything stays the same for the full year. Their current market cap is at 191 million. They dilute their shares by 100 million to get to 175 million shares outstanding. The revenue stays the same here. Even with 100 million shares diluted, the revenue staying the same, they should be at $9.57 to $14.36. Okay. Now, we know if they are actually going to be diluting 100 million shares at $2.45, that's basically going to give them about 245 million in proceeds from that, which they can then use to buy miners, expand a facility to get to the actual 16 point, I think they said 16 point something exahash by the end of the year. If that happens, I would imagine that at that point, they should have the they should have revenue increases. So if you just double their increases in revenue based on that, because they're basically going to be growing their hash rate by about 2.5x roughly. So if you just multiply that by their current revenue, multiply that, we're still looking at $19.14 to $28.71 potentially. Now, this is if Bitcoin stays where it's at, everything stays where it's at right now. If Bitcoin goes up even higher, well, let's just say Bitcoin goes up to 60,000 from where it's at right now. You could almost double this as well. They could be possibly making around $660 million per year, given if things stay that way. But we know Bitcoin is fluctuating, goes up and down. Now, if Bitcoin goes up even higher, they're going to be making a heck of a lot more on this as well. Okay, but some of you might say, well, they're going to dilute all the $500 million worth of it, including their compensation in there. So let's dilute them all the way to 275 million shares outstanding. We're still looking at the same amounts here. If things stay the same, we're looking at $6.09 was where I have them to $9.14. They're still $3.64 away where I think they should be, along with $6.69 away from the 75% if Bitcoin starts going up higher, right? So that's that. But if they grow and they install miners and things like that, get to the 16 exahash plus, now they're making $334 million per year going forward. They should be between $9.73 and $15.82. Regardless how you look at it, they are still way undervalued. And I think the retail investors are just overreacting based on the fear of dilution and what it's actually going to mean for them. I think based on these numbers, if you just take a look at the numbers and everything else that I've pointed out, they are way undervalued right now. So let me know what you guys think. If you guys agree or you guys don't disagree, or you agree or disagree with me based on this, on the numbers. And is there anything else that you guys think that's causing CleanSpark to be heavily right now downgraded, or what's the word I'm looking for? Heavily, I'm drawing a blank. Heavily being not oversold, but basically undervalued. There we go. Thank you. Undervalued based on all the information that we do have here. Also, do you guys think that Hut 8, some of the other guys as well, they're on top here, do you think that they could be possibly way undervalued as well? I think some of them are. I think some of them should increase it a lot more. But based on this is kind of what I came up with. And I'm starting to ramble on here because I'm trying to draw my thoughts in my head really quick here. Okay, so like I said, CleanSpark, definitely the most undervalued here out of all of them. And I think irrationally so, based on what I'm seeing here on the numbers, the institutions buying in, everything else. I think retail has just kind of put them out to the side. They're worried about the dilution and the stock-based compensation as well, which I think is incorrect to look at it that way. You should look at all the numbers and what it actually means for them. Okay, so that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, let me know what you guys think. As always, thank you so much for watching. Comment down below, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out tremendously, and the spreadsheet is available to my Patreon members. So thank you to everyone there, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, bye.